We are back, folks. We are back. And today, hope you all enjoyed the wrestling show. Right now, we're going to be doing Vampire the Masquerade Coteries of New York. Since it is a new game, we're going to do this like this. I'm going to choose my race, or my clan, I should say. It's going to be a Bruja. And it's not going to be Eric. It's going to be something different. It's going to be Lazarus because I don't want the name Eric. Thank you. You will accept that like... I'll take it if you're going to take it. If you're not going to take it, don't take it. I don't know what you want me to tell you. Anyway. Alright. New York taught me to believe in fate. Had you asked me about fate back when I was a human, I would have told you it's just superstitious bull, that we are all designers of our own destinies. That belief shattered when the richest woman in the United States, the actual richest one, not a face you could have seen in the papers, of course sank her teeth deep into my neck. It happened the very same place you're standing in right now, by the way. Fate, you decide. Please, there's absolutely no need to be hostile. Just listen a little longer. See, my mistake was that I flew too close to the sun. It makes sense that my punishment was to never see its glow again. I was incandescent myself. I was hot and poop. It had all money, looks, confidence, connections, men, women, a career, and a spark in my eye. The one you need to be born with. And that's when someone far more powerful than me saw my radiance and thought, that won't do. She robbed me of the light erupting from within and gave me a subtle, enduring gleam. In its place. She decided that it would fit me much better. She was a 9th generation kindred just like you, an apex predator. She probably enjoyed teaching me the peak of human excellence, my real place in the food chain. It was such an eyesore when you look at some loudmouth braggart to see them for all they really are. The temptation to teach them a lesson can be unbearable, right? Well, my sire's lesson was a lesson about fate. A message saying, you're eternally doomed to be at the mercy of your sovereigns. It almost drove me to destroy myself. What saved me was the ability to reinterpret the teachings. Whoops, come back here. Hers wasn't a message of doom, it was a message of hope. Fate exists, and one, can shape it if given the right tools. My sire didn't believe my tools were fitting for the job. She considered them toys, and me just her amusing subject. Hey, Silverite. Absolutely. Well, she's deader than dead now, and I'm still here standing right where she stood when we first met. You might have wondered how I've learned about your arrival to JFK Airport. My answer is, of course, destiny. As luck would have it, today happened to be a day as some of my associates were inspecting the coffins. Driving you here straight from the plane and having you wake up in such an unfamiliar place was a little desperate, and I do apologize for it. But it's so rare for you to visit New York. 3 times in the last 15 years, was it? And you're never eager to inform me you're here. I understand you still have a meeting on 53rd Street later tonight, so I'll provide a comfortable transport. I value our relationship very much. Don't get me wrong. But it is precisely because I value it that I'm going to ask you to repay the favor you owe me. You're the only one I trust to do the job well, and without attracting attention. You might think I'm crazy asking you to breach the rules of our society like this. You might think it's impossible to get away with it unpunished. But this is New York. And I don't know about other cities, but in this one, fate really exists. And right now it's smiling in your favor. This is how it begins. The music is pounding and your pulse is keeping pace. This is one of those nights that makes you feel alive even though it started with you feeling dead. First came the messy breakup, then the realization you have no one to talk to about how much it sucked. Still, you decided to roll with the punches. One Facebook search for the local events later, and you found just the thing for your malaise. A short subway ride, and you find yourself at the club just outside Dumbo. Not a fancy one, mind you, more like a slightly refurbished warehouse. But hey, at least the drinks are cheap. The DJ seems to really know his shit, too. Alternating between cutting-edge industrial techno and classic Detroit crowd pleasers. Actually feeling out everyone's mood. An hour passes, then 2. Usually you'd feel awkward of coming into a place like this alone, but tonight you find something soothing in joining the crowd, blending in even as you allow the beat to take over. Sweat. Yours, other people's, soaks through your shirt and pants in a matter of minutes. Thought pops into your head. From the outside, the fully packed club must seem stuffy, like a stuffy, smelly nightmare. But here, in the thick of it, becomes exhilarating. And you're not even on a pill tonight. There's this Latina chick whose curves are accented by the light dress clinging to her body. She keeps bumping into you. Something tells you it only seems incidental. Yeah, it's a good night. You wish it could last forever, because you know all too well what the next day holds. Waking up, getting dressed for work, the commute, the 9-to-5 grind that will make you just enough money to pay the rent and keep living in your overpriced shithole of an apartment. And with Jessica moving out, it'll all be coming out of your pocket. You run some quick calculations in your head and immediately come to regret that you did. Never mind. You spot the Latina again. She is now next to another guy, hitting it off. Your chance of not going to bed alone, gone just like that. Muck. Your mood temporarily shot down. You leave the dance floor and stumble your way to the filthy bathroom. You take a look in the mirror and start to wash your face. Obsessively. Over and over again. A voice from the past echoes in your mind. I've never felt like this with anyone. Seriously, I mean it. I feel like all my relationships up to this point were just test runs. A shitty way to compensate for my low self-esteem. By the way, this stream is not going to be PG-13. But this feels right. Finally. Shut up, Jess. This was the craziest effing day of my life. God, I need a smoke. Pass me a light. What do you mean? Cops took the lighter. There's the one in your mouth. Just shut the hell up. This is not you. Not anymore. Oh, F off. This is so like you. Acting like some sort of Clint Eastwood wannabe when I really, really need you to open up. You think you're impressing people with this tough guy act? F you. I know how broken you really are. You need therapy. Yeah, now that sounds like the Jessica of today. You raise your head and look in the mirror. You try to smile, but all you can muster is a self-pitying grin. And there she is. The Latina from before. She says you look like you need a drink. You hesitate for a second or two, and then blurt out a surprisingly enthusiastic, "Yeah!" You start to talk. It quickly becomes evident that she's into politics, and you are eager to please. You might be a corporate drone, but you spend a lot of evenings reading theory, actual theory, not bastardized Twitter cliff notes, and organizing for all manners of causes online. The status quo sucks. There must be something better. She agrees. You seem to subscribe to the same progressive political theories, have compatible ideas about the DSA's missteps, even watch the same YouTube channels. Your goals are aligned. She's a bit more radical than you'd have guessed. You attend a few rallies, been to a few protests, but this girl sounds like she broke her share of faces and kicked more than a couple of cops in the nuts over the course of her activist career. Her zeal is infectious. She taps into pent-up anger that you didn't know you had. The noisy club starts working for you both, so you hit the streets. Just as you're leaving, the DJ starts playing All the Things She Said by Tattoo. Of course. You chuckle to yourself, trying not to slip into a bad headspace. She chuckles along with you. It's chilly outside, but soon enough you find yourself too invested in listening to the girl's voice to care about anything else. You realize you've been holding hands for a while. The subway car is empty, save for a stoic middle-aged couple and a drunk staring intently at his own feet. Plenty of room to stretch out, and yet she sits right next to you. You can feel her thigh pressing into yours, her breath on the side of your neck. Maybe it's the booze talking, but you distinctly hear your voice asking if she'd like to crash at your place. "I've got a better idea," she says. At this point, you're down for anything as long as it lets you spend just a few more minutes with her. She takes you to a sleazy motel in the Bronx. Trading a few words with the balding, tired-looking guy at the front desk, he hands her a key. Still holding your hand, the woman leads you up the stairs. The room you end up in is almost comically stereotypical, complete with flaking paint and a sticky floor. Not that it matters, though. The moment you step through the door, she's on you. You try to take the lead, but she's having none of it. Before you know it, you feel rickety bed pressing against your back. It's sloppy, fun, fierce. And not once does she lose the initiative. Your hands reach under her t-shirt. Strange. It didn't look like she was cold outside, but now her skin feels eerily cold. As if sensing your confusion, she slaps your hands off of her. She kisses your neck. You're overwhelmed by the sensation. Darkness. The taste of liquid fire and smoke on your tongue. Her voice saying, "Sorry, kid, I did what I had to do to leave this city in one piece. But don't worry, with my blood and your principles, you're gonna do just fine." She slams the motel room door behind her as she leaves. You lie helpless on the soiled, pungent mattress for some time. Minutes? Hours? Before you can focus enough to try and piece together your evening, it hits you. The big hunger. It grips you by the throat and makes your inside shrivel in terror. It's an all-encompassing emptiness that throws you on all fours. You crawl for a while. Wait a minute, hang on just 1 second. You crawl for a while, squirm on the floor in sundering pain, then jump to your feet and bust out the door. You black out. This isn't the room you saw when you last closed your eyes. The hell was that? Somebody curses at you. A small, naked, buff dude holding a short leather whip. Are you serious? Wow, what a goofy mother effer. He throws a punch. He yells out several slurs. He hits you on the jaw. You black out again. The guy isn't moving anymore. There's blood on his neck. There's blood on his arms. There's blood on the floor. There's blood everywhere. Wow, whoever did this is one sick puppy. You realize you're sitting on top of his corpse. You hear a whimper. Someone else is there. A woman. Her arms are tied to the bed frame. An eye mask over her face. Red marks on her back. This time you see it happen. You want to stop but can't. She almost manages to get a scream out, but it dies in her throat as you bite into the side of her neck. You drink. Blood. You're drinking blood. You could swear you feel her life force escaping her body, entering yours. Suddenly terrified, you tear away from her. She's not moving, but she's breathing. There's barely a mark on her neck. The guy on the floor, though. You double over in a spasm, realizing what you did. You feel like throwing up, but can only gag. Panic sets in as another realization dawns on you. Your heart is not beating. You put 2 fingers to your wrist, but feel no pulse. The same thing on the neck. Nothing. There's no breath coming out of your mouth. You have to get out. Get someone to call an ambulance. For yourself, at least. Probably too late for the dude on the floor. Did you really kill him? What a mess. You look up. The door to the room is ajar. A tall, handsome, broad-shouldered man fills the entire frame. He brushes an imaginary speck of dirt off his perfectly tailored suit. Hey man, this isn't what it looks like. That's good to hear, because from where I'm standing, it looks like you're in a world of trouble. He surveys the room, not moving an inch from where he's standing. He shakes his head in mock concern. Murder. Assault. That's 25 to life if you're lucky. But since you're not, it's a death sentence. He takes a glance at his expensive-looking watch. Lucky for you, it's been a slow night. Otherwise, I might not have gotten here in time. Come on. Sun comes up in a few hours. You don't want to be around here when it does. What's it matter when the sun comes up? Ah, so you don't even know. You should be glad I got here before you made yourself scarce. The man approaches you and starts talking. His tone remains unnaturally calm. Oddly enough, you find it both soothing and slightly unnerving. Now listen to me. I know this is all new to you, but I've dealt with hundreds of strays like you. And going by experience, they tend to fall into 2 categories. First, there are the smart ones who carefully obey me every word and don't try to pull off anything stupid. I always get them where they need to be, safe and sound. And then there are the dumb ones. The punks who thought they could take me on. The wise guys who tried to contact somebody secretly and without permission. The troublemakers who tried to run off or make a scene. None of them got to their destination in one piece. In fact, most of them never reached their destination at all. His voice becomes slightly bored and monotone. You can tell he's given his speech before, likely dozens of times. So you see, while I generally consider myself pretty smart, I'm also a Mets fan. It's one of my true weaknesses. That's my one true weakness. One that inspired me to come up with a 3-strike system when dealing with pups like you. If you get on my nerves once or twice, well, I understand. Not all of us perform well in stressful situations. Cross me 3 times, and you're out. No excuses, no forgiveness, no mercy. After he's talking, he slowly approaches you, adding a bit of theatrical swagger to his walk. Eventually, he leans in, deliberately invading your personal space. You realize it's a test. He's daring you to do something about it. 3 strikes and you're out. Say, I understand, sir. Now. You've never been too eager to bend the knee to anyone, but this is something else. The man's very persistence instills primal fear in your heart. I understand, sir. Glad we have an understanding. Moving on, is there anyone you'd want to inform of the current situation? Tell them you're all right? He flashes his fangs briefly, and for some reason the sight sends a chill down your spine. There is something very wrong about him. Someone closest to you. Jessica. She's my girlfriend. The stranger's eyebrow twitches. You're lying. That's a strike. You are, and you don't know why you did it? Well, you suspect why, but this isn't the time for pitiful self-examination. Instead, you decide to double down. Check my phone if you want, man. She's there at the top of my contacts. He looks at you suspiciously, but takes you up on your offer. Seeing the suggestive emoji Jess herself has put next to her name, he gives you an impenetrable stare. He can definitely tell something is off, but doesn't bother to press the issue. Well, I suppose you two really are close. Instead of giving you back your phone, the man hides it in his pocket. From this point on, you are subject to different laws than the ones you grew up under, and you'll be watched by many eyes to ensure these laws are respected. You are forbidden from letting anyone know you're still alive. You are forbidden from showing your face anywhere they know you. If anyone comes looking for you, it's over for both you and them. He interrupts his monotone reaction and stares deep into your eyes. So unless you want your girlfriend to end up at the bottom of the Hudson, I suggest you cooperate. He probably displays his fangs again. You put Jess in danger. God damn it. I can only hope that you care for her enough not to do anything selfish. His words are meant to imply otherwise, but by now, it's obvious. He hates your guts as much as you hate his. He's itching for a fight, and you're almost willing to oblige. Alright, I think that's enough lecturing for today. We're on a bit of a schedule here. Now, I don't need to hurt you, but I can do so in the blink of an eye. Just so that we're clear, I have the authority to end you right here, right now. This is not an idle threat. So are you going to play along, or do we have to do this the hard way? You weigh your chances, but it doesn't look promising. The guy's fit, determined, and looks like he means business. You, on the other hand, are confused, exhausted, and on the verge of a panic attack. Yeah, fine. I'll go with you. He almost looks disappointed. A wise decision. Follow me, please, and close the door behind you. You take one final look at the woman who is just coming to. At the body on the ground, this is absolutely effed. You pull the handle and close the door. The man leads you downstairs. You contemplate signaling the bald guy at the front desk, but he's too busy watching some 90s action flick on a small, ancient-looking TV. He seems totally oblivious to your presence. You hear a dejected Jean-Claude Van Damme say, "I just want to go home," as you're walking by. Your would-be kidnapper stops by the door and addresses you before opening it. I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, as soon as he opens the door, I'm making a run for it. Maybe I can outrun him. I'll save you the trouble. You can't. You can either get inside my car, or I'll get you to where you need to be, or you can try something stupid that you'll regret later. Do I make myself clear? Clear as day. Day, huh? He opens the door and gestures to a black Cadillac Escalade parked right outside the building. After you. Following the stranger's instructions, you make your way into the car and get into this passenger seat. The door locks behind you. Inside the Cadillac is almost dark. The side windows seem light-proof. The man gets in the driver's seat and starts the engine, and drives away without another word. Who the hell are you, anyway? I'm the ferryman, here to take you to the other side. He weighs his next words carefully. You'll have to forgive me. I'm not in the mood to wax poetic about the state you're in or my role in tonight's events. Just remember, if you want to survive the next 24 hours, you'll have to play along. This is all a nothing nightmare. The stranger smirks. Understand that this is for your own good. Times being what they are, you should consider yourself lucky. You drive in silence for about 20 more minutes. As exhaustion catches up with you, the streetlights fade into a blur. Eventually the car stops, and the doors open. You emerge from your dreamlike state and find yourself in some kind of underground parking garage. You two are the only ones here. The man points to a nearby door. Go on in. Make yourself comfortable. If you get hungry, again, take a look in the fridge. I'll pick you up tomorrow, and you'll get your answers. Behind the door is a small room. No windows, just a simple bed and a single light bulb hanging from the ceiling. Small fridge is humming away at the corner, accompanied by a rattling AC fan in the wall. Guess I got no choice but to trust you. Took you this long to figure out? Remember when I said you were lucky? I meant it. See, my job is to get rid of problems, but I'm not always as polite about it. This time, I was specifically told to mind my manners. So believe me when I tell you, considering how this night could have turned out, being stuck in here for a night is a really good deal. Now get in or I'll throw you in. You step inside, the stranger nods. Good night. He closes the door behind you, looks sturdy, but as he's locking it, you notice claw marks all over. Looks like some previous guests weren't satisfied with their stay. You decide not to dwell on it and check on the fridge. There's a single plastic bag there, filled with red liquid. No label. Tomato soup? You feel sick to your stomach. Best leave it for now. You lie down on the bed, and it's a simple mattress on a metal frame. You can't help but think it looks exactly like the one back at the hotel with the bound woman. Oh, right. You killed a man tonight. Or did you? Maybe none of this is real. Maybe it's all an elaborate prank. The girl at the club just might have put her up to it. The tall guy's clearly in on it too. Now he's back with them, and they're all laughing their asses off. You don't know what to think anymore. Your mind races, but you're too tired to keep it going. Finally, you tense up one last time before drifting away into oblivion. You wake up. That in itself is a surprise. You barely remember when you drifted off. It didn't feel quite like sleep, more like plummeting into an endless void. You imagine that's how death feels like. The room is unchanged, the lamp is still on, the AC is still rattling. The refrigerator is still humming. You take a look at your watch. It's almost 9 p.m. You slept for 17 hours straight. Maybe you died. Your breath is gone and you feel no thumping in your chest. Does that qualify as dead if you're still conscious? You're not sure about that. But you're certain about one thing. You are hungry, and it's not your stomach rumbling, though. It's a need that starts somewhere in your abdomen and spreads to your chest, throat, and back of your head. You open the fridge. The bag is still there. You take a closer look. If it is soup, then its color and texture are off. You pull the cork out, take a whiff. You recognize the smell immediately. Holy. There's no mistaking it. It's bagged blood. The smell is faint, and you remember some situations in the past where you found it nauseating, but now it's almost... No, not almost. It is enticing. Alright, I'm going to end this stream here. Just because I wanted to give you a little sample of what this is. I'll be back later with a little bit of GTA. Peace out, be good to yourselves and each other.